So today I just want to give a brief summary on what has happened from the start of the year till date. From the reopening date of June 3rd till date, till November 20th, we've had many inter-school competitions and inter-house competitions. So we started off the year with the Twist and Turn, which was an inter-house Rubik's Cube competition. Then we moved on to football, swimming, and many other. And then we had an inter-house cultural and literature competition, which was known as the Sanskriti. This was the second year we did it. Then we went on for the inter-school competitions. We started with the Kick and Dunk, which had nearly 720 students. Then we had the Spectrum, which had almost 52 schools that participated. Then recently we had the Smash and Splash, which was a badminton and swimming competition. Then just last Saturday, we had our sports day. Along with all of this, our academics has been up to date. We had 3 exams altogether, with the 10th graders having 5 exams. Now this November, starting from November 29th, the 9th and 11th graders will be having the 3rd periodic assessment. So now I would like to hand over to Elisha, who is our head girl. So please, Elisha.
Thank you, Naomi.
Thank you, sir.
Good afternoon, sir. My name is Alicia and I'm the head girl. Yes, sir. I'm very grateful for you for being here with us today, even with your busy schedule. So I'm here to introduce you to some of our student council members. So we have Hazal Faisal, our deputy head boy, with us.
Good afternoon, sir. Hi, Fazil.
So we have Shitisha Krishnan and Madhav MN, who's our sports captains.
Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon.
So we also have Arish Ali and Sneha Susan Vargas, our cultural captains.
Good afternoon, Arish, Sneha.
So we have the rest of the student council also, and the rest of the grade 11 students here to be here with you for your session. Thank you so much once again, sir. We'd like to hear from you, and I invite you to address us. Thank you, sir.
Good afternoon to everyone. Good afternoon, Swaminathan sir, as well as all the other faculty who are there. Thank you for giving me this opportunity to interact with the students. I don't think I have had many opportunities to interact with the students at Sanskara, so this is definitely something that I cherish and I consider a privilege. Good afternoon, students. And the students of class 11, as well as the student council leaders of Sanskara. Albeit virtually, it is definitely a privilege to be before you today. And all of you as the leaders who are elected to represent your peers at Sanskara, it is great to be amongst all of you. Today is a significant day. Not just for me, but for our country as a whole. I am joining virtually with you today from Bombay, and some of you may know that today is actually the state assembly elections at Bombay. So today is actually a holiday that is declared by the state. Elections are a cornerstone of any democracy, the very foundation upon which societies function and thrive is based on representation. They remind us about the power of representation as well as the responsibility of leadership. They also remind us about the role that the individual leaders play in shaping the future. So today I am amongst the leaders at Sanskara, and I want to talk about leadership. So whether it's governance of a state, whether it's the governance of a nation, or even the governance of a school body, elections are an expression of trust. They empower individuals to choose their leaders who will represent their hopes, address their concerns, and guide that collective journey. By electing you as the student council, your peers have placed their trust in your ability to lead with a vision, to lead with fairness, and to lead responsibly. Leadership, however, is not merely about power. It is about service. And today I want to talk to you about empathetic leadership. Empathetic leadership is something that distinguishes a good leader from great leaders. I want to keep this session a little interactive. So I want to pose a question to all of you. Can someone tell me what is empathy? Please feel free to raise your hand and the mic will be passed to you. So does anybody have any definition? Don't worry, don't be afraid to give it a shot.
Yeah.
What is empathy? Just introduce yourself, your name and...
Hi, sir. My name is Joanne Nimish. I'm from Great 10 Asparagus. I'm not sure, but I think empathy is when you try to understand and relate with the situation of one of your peers, and you try to help them, and you try to be a part of what they're facing through sadness or happiness.
Absolutely right, Joanne. Joanne, right?
Yes,
okay.
sir.
That's a great answer. That's spot on. And, I think you've put it much better than I could have. Empathy, simply put, is the ability to understand and share feelings with others. So in your role, this will be one of your greatest tools in your role as leaders. Now, one more question. What is the difference between sympathy and empathy? Now, don't tell me the spelling is different. What is the difference in what it means? Anybody wants to take a guess? Take a guess, no problem. You can be wrong.
Good afternoon, sir. My name is Abhiya Maria Rajiv. I am from grade 11, Golden Shas.
Hi.
I don't know the exact meaning, but I think that sympathy is like feeling bad or trying to feel pity for others from what they are going through.
And what is the difference between sympathy and empathy? I mean, you gave a good definition of sympathy. Now compare it with empathy. What will be the difference?
While empathy means like trying to be like them, like trying to help someone, and sympathy means like you are just feeling what they're going through, but not trying to help.
Absolutely. There you got it. You got it. So thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
That's a good way to put it. So the difference between empathy and sympathy is sympathy means you are feeling what the other person is feeling, whether it is disappointment, whether it is anguish, whether it is frustration. Empathy means you not only feel what they are feeling, but you actually understand and you share what they are feeling. So as leaders, empathy becomes a big tool for you to differentiate between a good leader and a great leader. Let me just explain to you why empathy is very important for leaders. As student leaders, you are a bridge between the administration as well as your peers. You have the unique power to amplify the voice of your peers, to solve their problems, and not only problems, but also create opportunities for growth, create opportunities for their happiness within the Sanskara community. And to do this effectively, you must listen to what your fellow students are saying. But not only should you listen, but you should understand why they are saying what they are saying. So there is a difference between listening to what they are saying and to understand why they are saying something. Empathy allows you to step into their shoes and to see the world from their perspective. When a student feels unheard or excluded, your ability to sympathize can turn a moment of their frustration into one of connection and one of collaboration. This is how you inspire trust in your student peers, not just because of the authority that you have, but also because of the understanding and the empathy that you are offering. But empathy does not end with understanding others. You are leaders. So you need to have empathy and leadership. So Your empathy as leaders must turn into action. And here is where your privilege of being a leader gives you the ability to act. You carry the power to bring about meaningful change, not just in the school's policies or events, but also in the very culture of the school. As leaders, some things you should think about is how can you make Sanskara more inclusive? How can you make Sanskara more innovative? How can you make Sanskara more compassionate? These are some questions empathetic leaders should ask themselves. Take inspiration from today's election in Maharashtra. Every elected representative today has the power to influence millions of lives. Similarly, as members of the student council, your decisions, your actions will shape the experience of your peers, of the students of the Sanskara community. This is your opportunity to lead with courage, fairness, and empathy. I urge you to think about some principles of your empathetic leadership. There are 3 principles that I think are very crucial for empathetic leadership. First is the ability to listen and listen deeply. Listening is the cornerstone of empathy. As leaders, you must cultivate that habit of listening, not just hearing, but deeply listening. This means paying attention to not only the words of your peers, but to also understand the emotions, understand the intentions behind those words. In your role as student council leaders, many students will come to you with concerns, with ideas, with frustration. Some might be shy, some might be very vociferous and outspoken. Deep listening requires you to make each person feel heard and valued, regardless of how they express themselves. A shy person might express themselves differently from a outspoken person or a vociferous person. Ask clarifying questions. Reflect back on what they have said and what they have shared, and show them genuinely that you care about their perspective. Remember, deep listening also means that you should be open to feedback. It is a feedback, there is a loop, especially when their feedback is critical. Sometimes it might be critical about you. Sometimes it might be critical about student council. Sometimes it might be critical about something that you have done. Great leaders are not defensive. They see feedback as a gift. They see feedback as a way to grow and feedback as a way to widen their perspective. The second principle is very important, and that is to lead in an inclusive manner. We are a diverse country, and I am sure that even in school, we are a diverse school. Inclusivity is about ensuring that everyone feels like they belong. That is what inclusivity is. And they should also feel that they matter, that their voice matters, that their opinion matters. As leaders, you must champion this value by actively including people from diverse backgrounds, age, backgrounds, whatever be it. And their perspectives also should be diverse. So inclusivity requires effort. It is not easy. It means noticing. As leaders, it means noticing who is being left out and take action to bring them into the conversation, bring them into the decision. It also means advocating for those who do not have the confidence to speak up. It means being aware of biases, not only their biases, but your own biases. So inclusivity is not just about being fair or being equal. It is about building a stronger, more united Sanskara community where everyone thrives. When you lead inclusively, you send a powerful message that you matter, your ideas, talents, and presence is important to the school. It is critical to the school. The third principle for empathetic leadership is to act responsibly. First is to listen deeply. Second is to lead inclusively. And third is to act responsibly. So leadership is not just about intentions. Some leaders have the greatest of intentions, but it needs to be followed up with action. And with action comes responsibility. The decision you make as student council members will impact your peers, your teachers, and even the culture of the school. Acting responsibly means prioritizing the greater good over your personal preferences, or the long-term good over short-term benefits. It requires self-discipline. It requires a sense of fairness and a sense of commitment to doing what is right. Even doing what is right when it is hard. Many times, the right thing to do is the hardest thing to do. It may not always make you the most popular person, but responsible leadership earns respect and builds a lasting legacy amongst your peers. Additionally, responsibility also includes being accountable for your actions. If you make mistakes, own up, apologize, learn from it, reflect back on it, and take corrective measures. Accountability shows integrity, which is a great hallmark of leadership. By practicing these principles, listening deeply, leading responsibly, and leading inclusively, you will not only grow as leaders, but you will also create a positive ripple effect across your peer community. Your empathy will inspire others. Your inclusivity will unite the student body, not only the student council, but the entire student body. And your responsible actions will set standards for future leaders, future student council members. And the beauty about empathetic leadership is that it transforms not only the people you lead, but it transforms you as a person. It makes you more attentive, more compassionate, and ultimately more effective in everything you do. This is your opportunity to lead not just with your mind, but even with your heart. The impact of your leadership will extend far beyond the walls of this school. The habits you develop as empathetic leaders will influence how you lead in the future, in your careers, in your families, and in your community. Let me leave you with this thought. The most powerful leaders are not those who are feared and not who are admired from a distance. The most powerful leaders are those who are trusted and those who are respected because they genuinely care. Let that be your legacy as leaders of Sanskara. So today, as the state I live in, Maharashtra, chooses its leaders, I hope you also have the opportunity to become the leader that you want to be. Thank you all for very patiently listening to me. And I wish you a very successful and impactful term as student leaders who are empathetic, and that you will take this incredible school to much greater heights. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Good afternoon, sir. My name is Shatisha. of Great and
Hi,
Asparagus,
Sitisha.
and I had a question. So, how do you think leadership skills affect a student's life beyond school?
Sitisha, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Thank you for that question. So, uh, I think the the school, I always see school as, I think I see it a little contrarian, but I see school as the greatest place to fail. It is the greatest place to fail. It's very contrarian. I'm sure some of your teachers and principal might get a little shocked with what I said, but I think it is the best place for you to fail because this is a safe space for you to try anything that you dream of. And many times when you try something, it might not be something that is successful. But the beauty about school is it is a safe space to fail. It is it is a place where you can try new things. It is a place where you can experiment your skills, your ambitions, your interests, and see where life takes you. And I think going by that example of how I view school as the best place to try new things and best place to a safe space to fail. Similarly, I feel about leadership. It is a great place to build your leadership. And the leadership that you have in school is actually something we in corporate world call peer leadership, meaning you are a leader among peers. You know, the difference is when you are in corporate life, you have hierarchical leadership. You have people subordinate to you, people reporting to you. But in school, what you have is actually something called peer leadership. And peer leadership is something where amongst your peers, you are leading them. And I think peer leadership makes you learn very a lot of skills, a lot of uh, habits, which I think will be very useful for you outside of school, after you graduate from school, as you come into the community and become part of your future communities. Things like ability to convince your students. When you have a hierarchical leadership, it is easier to convince the people. But when you have peer leadership, you have to take these people along with you. A lot of leadership skills you can learn from school of, like I said, of being empathetic, of being fair, of being farsighted. And all of this you are learning in a very safe space, a space where you have the opportunity to try new things as leaders. So I think the leadership that you have in school can certainly be translated in your future careers, in your future role in communities, and even as members of the family that you will be forming once you have your own family. So I think these opportunities of leadership is something that the school offers and can be translated in your later life.
Thank you, sir.
Good afternoon, sir. My name is Alex from grade 11 Golden Chas. Sir, what are the strategies you use to stay organized, and how do you manage your responsibilities as a leader?
So I think staying organized is, once as you go older, your responsibilities become multi-dimensional. You have responsibilities of, your first responsibility, of course, is always to your own family, because they are the people who are dependent on you. I have a daughter, and me and my wife are the people who are the primary caregivers of my daughter. And I am also the primary caregiver to my wife. So that is my first and foremost responsibility, the first dimension of my responsibility. And as you grow, you will also have that as your first dimension. The next dimension of responsibility is to the community that I am part of. So the community that I am part of can be sliced and diced in different ways. It could be part of the place that I grew up in. It could be the school that I learned in. It could be the neighborhood that I live in. So the second dimension of responsibility is when you are a member of a community. The third dimension of responsibility is to your work, whether you are working for somebody or if you are working for, if others are working for you. That is another dimension of responsibility. Like that, there are as you grow older, you have multiple dimensions of responsibility. So it's very important that you stay organized so that you can give adequate attention to all of these that require your attention and require your responsibility. Some things that I do to stay organized, I mean, this is very personal to me, but I am somebody who does not have a very great memory. So I always make sure that I write down everything that I need to do in the morning. I am a very early riser, and the first thing that I do when I wake up in the morning is I write down all my priorities for the day. And if I find that some of the things require help either from my wife or from someone else at work, then I make sure that I reach out to them and I make them included in my priority. So writing down and noting down helps me imprint what I need to do for the day and helps me keep track of what I am doing through the day. Of course, today you also are aided by a lot of technology. You have the ability to calendarize everything, share your calendars with the other members so they are also aware what you are doing and where you are. So those are some things that I do to keep myself organized. And I'm sure as I grow older, the challenge of being organized only becomes harder. And, I hope I can also evolve and bring better tools to keep myself organized.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Alex.
Good afternoon, sir. My name is Hazil Faisal, and I'm from Class 10 Asparagus. So my question for you today is, can you share with us an example of how leadership has turned challenges into opportunities for the growth of your career, sir?
So I'll give you an example. So one of my first projects that I had got was actually to take care of a business that was not really doing very well. It was a business that we as part of Muthoot Group has tried to make a success. Many attempts were made over the years, and it was something that we have failed multiple times. And when the board of directors of Muthoot assigned this particular responsibility to me, I thought, wow, this is a very tough project to be getting initially, as I'm stepping into being in a position of responsibility. But I think the what I learned from it. Of course, I'll tell you, even in spite of me being made responsible for that business, I was not able to make it a success. And we were finally we decided to call it a day, and wrap up that business. But I think when I reflect back on it, I feel that it was a baptism by fire for me. Usually you get baptized with water, but I got baptized with fire. And as the saying goes, if you want to make iron, you have to put it into that fire. So I think it made me somebody who's a very my leadership style, I think, was molded by that experience. It lasted about almost 2 years, and I think I was able to learn what not to do. I was able to learn how things can go wrong and why things can go wrong. And I saw that as, going through that for that 2 years was tough. It's not easy. It's frustrating. And, every morning you wake up and you are frustrated that things are not going your way. But I think looking back, I'm very grateful to the board for giving me that opportunity, because it made me into somebody who's more thoughtful, somebody who's more deliberate about everything that I do. And it made me a more compassionate and more thoughtful person. So I think that was a challenge that was given to me, and the opportunity that I made out of it was probably 2 years later, as I reflected back on the things that I learned from that journey.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you.
So good afternoon, sir. So I am Irfan from grade 11 Golden Showers. So my question for you is that, so what do you believe are the key qualities that a leader must have to guide an institution like ours to success?
Thank you. So I think first and foremost, I think my topic of discussion today, empathy, I think definitely is something that I really feel is required. And I think when you look at the world around you, it makes you feel that you really want more empathetic leaders. And I think definitely empathy is one of them. The second is the ability to inspire. I think leaders should be able to inspire. And when we have inspirational leaders that people look up to, it really becomes a multiplier effect as to what that leader can do. So when you have leaders that can influence and inspire people to elevate themselves, the leader can also have a multiplier effect in the community. So empathy is definitely one. Ability to inspire is another. And I think courage is definitely a third one that I would say, because as you become leaders, you will soon realize that decisions are hard. The decisions that come to you as leaders are not easy decisions, because if they were easy decisions, they would have been taken by someone else. You as a leader has to decide on that because it is hard. So many times hard decisions is very conflicting. Sometimes in the inside of your stomach hurts when you take that decision, because someone might get affected, or it might be something that will personally affect you, but you have to think about the greater good. So I think that requires courage, a sense of fearlessness and a sense of courage is required to take those hard decisions as leaders. So I think empathy, ability to inspire, and courage, I think are three things, personally, in my opinion, should be cornerstones for any great leader.
Thank you, sir.
Sir, I'm Nikita, grade 11
Hi,
Golden
Nikita.
Shah. Good afternoon. So I have a quick question for you. So what advice would you like to give students of our school that is still establishing in terms of creating a culture of leadership and creativity?
Great question. Thank you. I think, the beauty is your school is young. I should say our school is young, right? Uh, when we are a young school, you have the ability to set the foundations of what student leadership is and what student leadership can do. Legacy schools always carry the baggage of legacy. You know, many times in legacy schools, when you try to do something, they will say, no, for 20, 25, 30 years, we have done it this way and we need to do it this way. So that is the baggage of legacy. But the beauty about Sanskara is that we don't have the baggage of legacy. We have the ability to disrupt. So as student leaders of a young fledgling school, I think you have the ability to think outside the box. Inspirational leaders like Dr. Swaminathan have that ability to empower you to think outside the box of what any student council can do. So I think the fact that we are a young school is definitely a huge benefit to any of our leaders, whether it is the student council or whether it is the administrative leadership, whether it is the head of the school or the principal of the school. It allows you to be more flexible. It allows you to think outside the box. It allows you to push the boundaries of what student councils can do. So the second benefit that I see is the community is small, and the fact that the community is small helps you be more in touch with your students and your peers. And I think that helps us have a much better ability to have feedback from your other students. So that's why I was saying that your ability to listen listen deeply as empathetic leaders is very, very key. And if you have a large school of 2,000, 3,000 students, it becomes difficult to hear everybody. It becomes difficult to know who's left behind. It becomes difficult to know who's frustrated. So when we are in a smaller setup, I think the student leadership is able to be more in tune with what the larger school community is feeling, what their aspirations are, what their frustrations are. And I think, that definitely should be a guide for you on how you choose your leadership style as part of student council.
Thank you, sir.
Good afternoon, sir. I'm Joanne Nimish. I've introduced myself earlier. So thank you very much for all the insights you've given into the many questions that we've had. And I'd like to ask one last question before we wrap up. So as we have 9th and 10th present here as well, and I'm sure there are many students that would like to go to commerce, but since many students in South India tend to go towards science streams, so would you mind shedding us some light into opportunities that we can get into leadership and capacity building programs if we go for commerce streams?
Great, thank you. So I think, Joanne, the pressure of choosing a stream that is STEM based is not just in South India. I think it is probably a pan-India phenomenon. But I think our community, our culture has come a long way from when I was in school. I think there has been a lot of change in mindset among parents. It's the next generation of parents, right? So I think it is definitely changing, but I'm sure there is a bias towards probably STEM-based streams. I am also a student of commerce. Actually, I took commerce in school, and then I pursued economics. And I think the sort of opportunities that are there once you take sort of streams that are based on commerce. And I would like to take one step back, and I would say you have STEM-based streams, which is science, maths, etc. And then you have commerce, but I would like to actually call it maybe liberal arts. That is the other end of that spectrum. And I think today, apart from science, the liberal arts and commerce over the last, I would say, decade or so, have had a lot of educational institutions that have come up in India. Of course, it has always been there abroad also. And I think, though they have great programs, whether it is, subjects like history, subjects like, economics, subjects like English, literature, and, all of these subjects have come a long way, especially in India and of course abroad also, in terms of the courses that institutions offer. And I think in order to build your capacity, build your capability in these areas of interest, I think should, like any other stream, whether it is science or commerce, it requires a sense of curiosity and a sense of wonder. When I was somebody who was growing up in school, I was always considered somebody who is very curious and would always try and understand a little bit more about something that I am enamored by or something that I am curious about. And I think that sense of curiosity is what will take you forward in what you want to do in your future careers. So capability building, capacity building should actually start with your sense of curiosity. If you have an interest in something, learn more about it. And I think with the advancements in technology today and the availability of information today, I am always amazed by how much the student community, especially in the schools, know about various topics. When I speak with my nephews and nieces who are maybe around your age, sometimes they really humble me, as to, some of the things that they know, and some very specific nuanced topics that they are interested in. They just go deep, and, Google is, a big rabbit hole, right? You can really learn a lot. I think it should start with that sense of curiosity and a sense of wonder. So regardless of whether it is commerce, or regardless of whether it is any STEM-based programs, your sense of curiosity will definitely be a guide, and it will be a North Star to take you to your final destination, whether it is pursuing a degree in commerce or a degree in economics, or taking up a professional course like chartered accountancy, whatever it is. It is your sense of curiosity that should guide you.
Thank you, sir.
Good afternoon, sir. I am Navneet Krishnan from Grade 10 Asparagus. So first and foremost, I would like to thank you for taking time out of your busy schedule today to meet with us today. I'm really thankful for this eye-opening session you gave us on leadership qualities. To be honest, I was really taken aback by the various pointers you gave us on leadership, especially when you talked about the importance of empathy. Because it's only when you put yourself in someone else's shoes that you really understand what they're going on. And I feel like that is something often leaders overlook on. This enlightening session really taught us about the real deal of leadership. We, as leaders, will make sure to include these points in our daily life. I would also like to thank our principal, coordinators, and teachers for organizing this splendid session. Once again, I would like to thank you, sir, for spending such quality time with us. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Apologies, I did not realize that the 9th and 10th are also there. I was told that it is the student council in 11th grade. So thank you, Swaminathan sir, for organizing a session. Unfortunately, I couldn't be there in person. I really wish I was there in person, but maybe sometime in the near future, I can do that also.
Thank you for joining, sir. It was a very beautiful session. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you very much. And all the best. Thank you.
Thanks, sir.